So here's one of the big questions out of all this. What can we expect from the result of today's straw poll? Does it matter? It's already a crowded field of contenders. Some see this as the first time we could see the field start to thin out. Emily Heil is a staff writer for Roll Call. She joins us now. Emily, it's always good to see you.
Great to be here.
Nice to have you. It's a beautiful Saturday, even in Ames, Iowa, where people are actually watching the Iowa Straw Poll to see if someone will be winnowed out and who will become the front runner. What do you think about all of this? How does this stack up?
Well, the Iowa Straw Poll, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how meaningful it is. You know, it's not terribly predictive, as that list you just ran through of past winners shows, but it's significant. It's an interesting event. It feels like a pep rally right now. One analogy I heard that seemed really apt to me was that it's almost like a preseason football game. You know, the results don't really count, and yet it's a showcase. It's a chance for people to do what Rick Santorum just said, which is kick the shins and kick the tires of these candidates. And I think that winnowing effect that you were just talking about is definitely going to happen. I think that candidates like Tim Pawlenty, who said that he might have to think about retrenching if he doesn't make a great showing today in Iowa. Another candidate who has a lot to lose here is Rick Santorum. He seems to be catching on and doing well there in Iowa, but if he doesn't, it takes a toll on a campaign. Donors become less excited. The checks don't come in the way they need to keep a candidacy rolling much past Iowa. So this really will be a test for those campaigns. And even for those who don't drop out, what happens in Iowa matters too. If Bachmann does well, if she places first, sure, that's going to say something good about her campaign. The question about her is, can she organize? She's got buzz, she's got the ideology that people like, but the organizing was the thing that people were wondering about. And Iowa's a proving ground for that. So if she does well, that speaks well to her candidacy in the broader sense.
Well, Emily, let's shift gears just a little bit, sticking with the Iowa Straw Poll, but let's look over across in another state, the great Palmetto State of South Carolina, where we saw today, less than an hour ago, Texas Governor Rick Perry announce his candidacy for president. And he did it there in South Carolina and not in Iowa. How might that impact the Iowa Straw Poll, and for that matter, the entire GOP lineup of candidates?
Well, you might see Perry make an appearance in Iowa in the form of a write-in candidacy. I think you might see him being written in on some of those ballots there. The fact that he made that announcement at the timing that he did, I think is significant. It's raising some eyebrows. I think Iowa voters are going to look at that and feel excited. Today is supposed to be all about all things Iowa. And I think they might be a little miffed that Rick Perry made his announcement from South Carolina today. It takes a little bit of the wind out of the Iowan sails. And the fact that he made the announcement where he did, it says something too. South Carolina is going to be a very significant state for Republican candidates. That's not saying for sure that he's writing off Iowa. There's a lot of time between now and January when the Iowa caucuses actually happen
and how right
for
you
him
are.
to go.
Yeah, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to get to you before we run out of time here, because we know what you're talking about Iowa and the fact that there might be some animosity there among the Iowan electorate towards Rick Perry. But we do understand that Rick Perry will be in Iowa tomorrow and possibly spend 3 days there. What's he going to do? Mend fences?
He might have to eat a lot of potatoes, you know, and talk about how much he loves Iowa. So he'll be doing a lot of that for sure. He didn't get to eat the butter on the stick, but I think he's going to be, you know, meeting Iowans and trying to put a little salve on whatever wound he might have inflicted by slighting them today. But I have a feeling that he's going to try to do what he can there. But, you know, different strategies are going to play out for different campaigns, and his strategy might very well be that he doesn't need Iowa to win. He might need, in that case, South Carolina. So there's a long time between now and January when the Iowa caucuses happen, and there's certainly a long time between now and the general election.
A lot of time to eat a lot of potatoes. How many ways can you eat it? Mashed, strained, boiled,
French
whatever.
Fries.
Okay, all right. Emily Heil of Roll Call, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right.
And my